Scientific Sue here, and it is the Northern Ireland Science Festival. Yay! And we are doing science magic. So over 3 days, there's going to be 3 potions, and today we are going to be looking at the AMORTENTIA spell using the Dragon's Drool potion. Now, for us to do magic, we are going to need our magic wand. Ta-da! I missed it again. Oh. This is the joy of being a scientist and being a magician, because whenever you see the tricks that magicians do, they are not as easy as they make them out to be. A lot of practice is taking place behind the scenes. Now, these wands are amazing. They're made from a material that remembers its shape. And we're going to hide it in my hand, and hopefully this time I can catch it. You'd have thought by now I'd learned how to do this. So let's start again. And I need my magic wand. Abra! Cadabra! I think I'm going to have to practice a little bit more. Right. Let's get on with the science. And I'm going to have a witch's brew here, nice wee cup of tea. And we're going to put into it some dried dragon's drool. So I'm going to open this up and I'm going to put it into my teapot, just like tea leaves going in. And in it goes. And then I'm going to add some water to it. And hopefully we are going to make the most amazing, magical potion. Just with tea leaves, we are going to need to have, can't put that on. Just with tea leaves, we're going to need to have a little sieve to get rid of the tea leaves. The nice thing about this funnel, it's also going to do the sieving job for me. For me to have my magic potion, I want to have a lovely bottle for my potion to be in. Let's have a look and see what color this is. There we go. Oh, we've got a lovely purple mixture. Now, when you do this, you have to wait until it cools down. It's a little bit warm, but I've done this so many times, I know I'm going to be safe. Right, this is my potion. Here's my magic wand. And we're going to do the AMORTENTIA spell. Amor, love spell. And we're going to see if we can get some color changes. And then hopefully we can create a love potion. Now, the love potion only really works if we get color changes. So if I don't get the color changes, then my love potion isn't going to work. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to fall in love. It just maybe means that you're going to like somebody. And this works on muggles as well as on witches and wizards. We're using potions. So I am going to have to put on my safety glasses. There we go. Swimming goggles are good too, and you can also use, sunglasses. These, though, are great. No splashes going in, just like swimming goggles. Now, the first color I want, well, if I gave you, this is the trick, if I talked about boys, what is the favorite color for boys? Or I could talk about the sky. What is the color of the sky? I'm putting this idea of a color into your head. And I want you to shout out that color, and let's see if we can get this color. So, abracadabra, alakazam, we want, red? Well, that wasn't the color I was expecting. Okay, so that obviously didn't work. So now let's think about girls. Let's think about girls and the color that girls like, or the color of blood. What color? Oh, we've already got that color. Well, let's see if we can get that color again. Okay, here we go. Abracadabra. Oh! And we've got the blue. Well, it doesn't really matter which order we get them in. I have them. I've got blue and I've got red. I'm going to talk a little bit about the science about this in a minute. Now, if somebody is in love, then they're going to feel all bubbly and all excited. So let's have a look-see. Here we go. We're going to do the AMORTENTIA spell. If we get a color change, that means that you are in love. Yes, I just love being in love. So AMORTENTIA. Let's see what happens. Wow, look at this. We get bubbles. We've gone back to the purple color. How did we do that? Well, I'm going to let you into a secret. The dried dragon's drool is actually cabbage, red cabbage. And the reason that we call it red cabbage is years ago, we used to pickle it in an acid called vinegar. And when we pickle it in vinegar, it gives us this lovely red color. But you can get lots of other colors in other chemicals. So in acid, we just get pinks and reds. The opposite to acids are called bases if they're solid. They're called alkalis if they're liquid. In here, I had baking soda hidden. So with baking soda, I now know I'm going to get the blue color. Inside here, I've got citric acid, and I now know it gave me the red. But sometimes we've got chemicals in front of us and we forget to label them. So scientists have mixed lots of chemicals together, which give us a range of colors that allows me not just to know if it's an acid or an alkali, but the strengths. So we're going to move over to this table here and we're going to look at that science. Bing! Here it is. So I've got a liquid here, which is called bromocresol blue. And inside here, this is bubble bath, I've got the same chemical. And it's going to allow me to get color changes. But it's a similar chemical. Instead of being bromocresol blue, it says bromocresol green. And it also lets me know that I've got citric acid in here. Whenever we mix all of these color-changing chemicals together, we end up with a chemical that's called a universal indicator. And it then lets us know what liquids we have and we say their pH, their potential for hydrogen, their potential of how energetic they're going to be in a reaction. So what we've been doing and what we're going to do is cabbage magic. And on this card here, just using the cabbage powder, we can get a whole range of colors, reds and pinks in acids, and we can get purples in water when it's neutral. And let's have a look and see if we can get another color. So what I've got here is I've got 3 chemicals, and I've called this one here verde. It's Latin for green, so I'm hoping I'm going to get a green color. It's actually washing soda. So I've got some washing soda in there. In here, I have got, what have I got? Oh, horn of bicorn. Silly name. That's my bicarbonate of soda. Sodium hydrogen carbonate, or baking soda. Lots of different names. And this one here, I'm saying it's the dried skin of a basilisk. That's the big snake that's in the Harry Potter films. That's my citric acid, and I'm going to put that there. And what I need then is I need to, first of all, put the powders into the beakers. That's my washing soda. That's my baking soda. They're both called sodas. And that is my citric acid. I could also use vinegar as an acid. I could have another soda here, caustic soda. But it's very dangerous, and I don't want to use it today. It's something that grown-ups use, and I'm not grown up enough yet, I don't think. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to add some water into these solutions. There we go. There we go. And unfortunately, they have not been labeled, so therefore, now we have no idea what they are if I decided to move them around the table. So let's do that. Let's kind of move these around. Oh my goodness. So I've forgotten which one is which. Until I use my dragon's drool. So what I've got here is I've got a nice little container that's going to say dragon's drool, and I can store my liquid that I prepared earlier into it. And then using a pipette, I can get a big pipette full, and the one that goes red is going to be the citric acid. The one that goes blue is my baking soda. And the viridi, well, let's find out what color it is. Now, to do this, we most probably need our magic wands. So let's see, we're going to go, this should be red. Oh, no, what color is it? It's green. This one should be blue. Yes, that one's blue. And this one should have been green, but I think it's going to go red. There we go. Now, the acids will only fizz if I've got a carbonate. So it's not going to fizz with my baking soda, but we have to test it to double and make sure. So what I'm going to do then is we're going to experiment, and we're going to pour a little bit of our washing soda into that cup there, and we'll pour a little bit of our acid into there. Oh my goodness, we did get a reaction. Well, that was good. There was me thinking I wasn't going to get a reaction. I love doing all this stuff. Now, let's put a little bit of our baking soda in there, and then put a little bit of our citric acid in there. Oh my goodness, that was so much more, I wouldn't say explosive, bubbly, much more bubbly. So we've got chemicals, our washing soda gives us small bubbles, and our baking soda is going to give us big bubbles. Now, let's do this, but this time using our bubble bath, because our bubble bath has got this color changing chemical inside it. So I'm going to pour some of my bubble bath into this container here. And when it goes in, it goes green. And that is because it's been diluted. So the chemical in here, when it's neutral, it's green. But when it's in citric acid, it is going to give us an orange color. So let's trial this. So we need to find our chemical, our dried skin of a basilisk. So you can try this with bubble bath, or you can use liquefied ogre's bogies, washing up liquid. So we've got that one there. And I'm going to put in some of my crystals. There we go. And they are all going to go in there and give them a swirl. Oh, look at that color change. Isn't that amazing? So we have a bubble bath, which is magical. Now, when we put in our baking soda, this is going to be the science of a bath bomb. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to put a few of these crystals into here, our citric acid into our elixir of life, our water, give it a swirl. Inside this balloon, I've put our baking soda. Now, at the moment, the color's quite boring. So let's test out this bromo creasel green. At the moment, it's blue. When it's neutral, it's a nice purple color. In the acid, it gives us that lovely yellow color. And let's see if we can neutralize this. Very carefully, put in the balloon over. What do I need to put on my eyes? Yes, I have to put my safety glasses on. Here we go. Ta-da! And we lift it up. Whoa! We make the guess like a volcano in a bottle. And it's gone back to purple. Can you see that? Oh my word. Goodness me. Wow. So much gas was made so violently, the pushes outwards were enough to expand and inflate a balloon. Wowee! What is going to happen in here then when we put in our baking soda. So we've got our horn of bicorn here. Oh my goodness. I think I'm going to have to step back from here. Got a magic wand. Here's my wand. And explosio. I like that word. Okay, so here we go. 3, 2, 1. Explosio. And is it exploding? It is now. Give it a little mix. And we have just created for the Northern Ireland Science Festival our very own colour changing bath bomb. Ta-da! I'm Scientific Sue. Thank you so much.